Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Creators Lounge podcast. As always, I'm your host, Ben Jaye. Super stoked to get into this episode. This dude reached out to me a while back, and he was like, can I be on the podcast? I was like, totally. And then it took us some time to get a date correct because, we live across the world from each other. Time zones are always hard, but it's happening right now. So let's get into it. My man, let these people know, what is your name? Where are you from? What do you do?
Alright, my name is Adrian, more known as Crow around the internet, and I'm from Norway, and I like to make music and create videos on YouTube.
Alright, Adrian, it is fantastic to meet you. My man, is it cool if I call you Adrian on the episode, or should we stick with Crow?
Yeah, just go ahead.
Alright, man. Alright, so I don't like small talk. Let's jump right to the serious stuff. The first question I have for you, why do you make music?
Alright, so I like to think that I like to make music because like when I was younger, I used to listen to a lot of music, and I would always think like, damn, this song is so good, and I would listen to it over and over again, and I kind of want to give that same feeling to people listening to my stuff, and that's kind of a rewarding feeling as well, getting that sort of feedback too. So people like really enjoying the stuff I make, and like just people genuinely enjoying my creations, and that's kind of special, I think, to me.
Oh man, yeah, for sure, dude. Like, influences are so huge, right? Like,
yeah.
The stuff that inspires us to do what we do. It's so cool to kind of trace our timeline back. I'm always like looking at my childhood and saying, oh, I watched this video when I was young. Now I'm inspired by this aesthetic.
I know, right? Yeah.
It's crazy how it continues throughout time, and you don't even think about it. But yeah, influences are huge. So to give some people some insight, a lot of people know your music already, but for those who haven't heard it, how would you describe your sound? What kind of music do you make?
As of lately, I'm beginning to sort of shift the sound of what I do. So I used to only do heavy sort of dubstep type of stuff with some future garage every now and then, and now I've kind of shifted to a little bit more slower tempos because it's something that I've discovered that's kind of fun to experiment with. And it's kind of turned into this funky, slow, but still heavy, and then maybe some poppy or ambient stuff in between. I don't know. It's a huge mix of everything.
Oh, I love that, man. Diversity is so cool, though. I want to ask you, actually, because you mentioned about the influences when you were younger inspired you to make music, and then now you have so many different sounds and styles you're working with. Yeah. If you were to give a list, who do you think were the biggest influences for you in your childhood? What kind of sounds, or maybe it was movies, but like what influences inspired you to start making music?
So, to start making music, the biggest influence was a artist called Savant, if you know who he is.
Dude, yes, I love Savant. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we sort of we was like, damn, his music is so good. Like every single tune was so damn catchy. Yeah. And we were like, oh, we wanna make stuff like that. It seems so cool. And then when we just like found out, oh, he uses FL Studio, this new program, and then we tried it out, and it was really fun to start out. And when I'm saying we, I'm talking about me and my friend Anishan.
Yes, okay.
You know
who you've done music with you up in the past.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Man, I'm trying hard not to fanboy right now, but Savant was such a huge influence for me when I was young also. Like,
I love him.
Yeah, man, like the way he approached music, it was so formless. Like he could make, one it was orchestra, then it was dubstep, then it was drum and bass. Like he was all over the spectrum. I just have massive respect.
Yeah, I think some of the most inspiring things about him is these videos when he's just sitting in the studio, and then, for example, the video picking notes out of a hat.
I remember that.
And then he just like in like 2 hours, you just throw something together, and it sounds amazing. Like, how, dude?
Dude, I remember that exact video. If you guys, if the audience has not heard of Savant before, you need to do some research on his work. He's an incredible musician. He can do any sound, any genre, any style whatsoever. He's put out a massive catalog of songs. I wouldn't be surprised if he's released 1,000 songs. But
I mean, he probably has.
He probably has. He is so prolific as a songwriter and a musician. So anyway, Savant inspires you. You see that he's using FL Studio. So I guess you jump into FL Studio as well, correct?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And then
at the start of your career, there, like when you start making music in FL, what kind of gear did you have? Did you have a MIDI keyboard? Were you just using your computer keyboard? What kind of tech were you working with at that time?
So, starting out, you don't really have a lot of stuff, right?
Exactly.
So I was still using my Razer Kraken headphones, like super bassy headphones and stuff. So everything I made sounded terrible, obviously, and I didn't have any gear. So all I had was my computer, and I was like, "This is hella fun." And I got like a small 32 key MIDI keyboard. And I got these headphones after a while, the audio technica ones, and that was a huge leap in my in the quality of everything I make. So,
oh man, it's fantastic.
So
but you're right. Like when you first get into it, like you have no idea what you're doing. You're just pushing buttons, making sounds. And this is awesome. And slowly over time, it kind of develops and gets better. So you pick up a 32 key keyboard. You grab some new headphones. Is there any other gear that you've added to your arsenal nowadays? Is there any new gear you picked up or?
Yeah. So through the revenue and stuff that I've made through my sponsorships and YouTube stuff, I've gotten these KRK RP7 G4s, like the newest generation, and they're pretty huge, and they're great for music and stuff.
Yep.
So that's been one of the key things, and I don't know if you can see it, like.
There we go. There. Super nice.
So
super nice.
Yeah, I got that as well. So that's basically all I need, really. I don't need anything else.
Pretty
like
minimal,
a launch pad,
really just a keyboard, some speakers, and a headphone.
Yeah, like it's like Skrillex. He says like all you need to make music nowadays is a laptop, and that's it. And internet.
Exactly. It's really, really true, right? And would you? I'm curious though. How much do you actually use your piano keyboard, like whenever you're making music production? Do you tend to just paint stuff in, or do you like to record it first of all?
I don't. Like a while ago, I tried when I got the keyboard. I tried to learn how to play, and I learned a few like small tunes and stuff, and I still can't play it, right. Like the piano, like improvise and stuff. So I never use it when I'm actually making music, but just like when I hear something and I'm like, oh, I want to play that on piano, and then I got a keyboard so I can start playing, and then I can even change up the sounds through the computer. So that's pretty fun.
Fantastic, exactly. I wanted to touch on that because I want to inspire people to not make excuses about getting started. Like you said, like you don't have to have some 76 key keyboard or a Pioneer DJ's deck or anything. You just have to have your mouse and your keyboard. You can be making music, right now. It's really all it takes.
Yeah, I've heard so many people approach me and say like that they want to do what I do, but they don't have the gear or something. And all I tell them is just like, you gotta, obviously you got an internet connection because you're talking to me. And just use a computer and then you're good.
Exactly, man. And it's so
That's
true.
how everyone gets started.
It's so true. It's so true.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting because like in any kind of circle, there's always certain standards, and status is such an important thing. Like, oh, you have to have the best headphones. You have to have the best keyboard, the best computer. And it's like, no, I mean, you could get that later, but for right now, you have this. Get started. You can keep building over the years, and just improve as you grow. It's so important. Now, you mentioned Savant already. I'm curious, what would you say has shaped your artistry the most? It doesn't have to be just musicians. Maybe there was experiences or other people, or maybe it was musicians, but if you look back at your history, what moments do you think shaped your artistry the most?
So I can first of all tell you how I got into this like this genre of music. So
Sure, go ahead.
it was like in primary school sometime, and there was these boys in my class, and I always look up to them because they were pretty cool.
Yep.
They were in like the highest league, and at that time, like 2010, 11, you know, that's when Skrillex started pumping out, you know, and that's the stuff that they kind of listened to, and they told me. They like used to tell me things to do to like be like them, and I wanted to be like them.
Okay.
So they said like, yeah, you gotta search up UKF on YouTube and search up Skrillex and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay, guess I'll do that. And then and then I found
notes.
yeah, and then I found out about Skrillex, and ever since I've kind of been hooked on the dubstep sound. And that kind of, so that led me into the type of genre, and then Savant led me into the production, and then to kind of know what direction to go in within the production, I was starting to listen to a lot of Virtual Riot tunes, and I know you've probably heard that 1,000 times, but the dude is like, he's such a huge influence to like every single dubstep producer right now.
Oh, without a doubt. Well, and for not even just right now, but for the last 5 or 7 years, he's just consistently been making great music, you know. So yeah, he deserves the respect that he gets right now. That's so cool, though. You're starting from like random people at school that kind of gave you some guidance. But do you still know those people just by chance, or not at all?
Yeah, I still do.
Do you still know them? Okay.
Yeah. So they know what I do, and they think it's awesome.
That's fantastic, man. That's wild. Usually, like in that situation, like you lose touch with those people, but it's cool that you're still like you still kind of know who they are and everything. So,
Yeah.
And you're still on the path to making fantastic music. So that's super cool. So we went from meeting people, and then Savant gave you guidance on production, other influences. What about for like the mood of your music? Like, for generally speaking, like you said, your music has tended to be very heavy and very aggressive in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like, is that where does that come from? Is it just, are you like a high energy person? You like the sound of it? Or where does that kind of like your aesthetic sonically? Where does that come from?
Oh, I've never thought of that actually. Because listening to a lot of bass music, you hear like a new sound and you're like, whoa, that sounds sick, you know?
Right.
And then it just fits so well into the tune. And I've kind of wanted to get that feeling when working on music as well. So I'm kind of working towards getting to that point of like discovering new things and finding new sounds that just sound fresh, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. It's hard to describe. I don't know if I even answered your question.
You're chasing a feeling. It sounds like a feeling of excitement and adventure, like a new.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do too. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. I love that though. Like searching for a feeling. No, I can really resonate with it. Go ahead, explain more.
Yeah, it's the same feeling that I get when listening to other artists such as Saman, Virtual Riot, Skrillex, and stuff like that. Yep. And I constantly hear new sounds, and I'm like, oh, that's neat. I never heard that before, and then I kind of want to do the same.
Yeah, exactly.
But in my own way, kind of.
Yeah. Well, there's so much to explore and discover in the EDM sphere. Like, you know, sound design is huge in EDM because there's so many different sounds we can create and that we can make, you know, and present and interpret in different ways. So that's awesome. I love that. So I guess then I guess that's part of your motivation to keep making music, is because you're searching for a feeling. You're trying to create something new and original. Is there any other? Yeah, I mean, what's your other motivation for making music and continuing to develop your sound?
I think it's just fun, and it's I think the most rewarding feeling kind of is keep showing people new stuff, and like getting their reaction back, and getting a positive reaction back is obviously even more fuel to just keep going, kind of.
Oh, very true, man. I think community is so huge in the underground electronic scene. everything's still so connected. You know, it's still, you're able to talk with like the bigger musicians in the EDM scene because they're so connected on Twitter or on Instagram or social media.
Yeah, that's so true.
You know, and so community is really big in this environment because it's kind of what can make you or break you, you know, because it's people that are supporting other people and building each other up. Or if you fall on the wrong side of the tracks, you know, you get torn down. So it is huge. How do you deal with low spots, though? You have a lot of motivation right now, like you said, community, making new stuff. You enjoy it so much. That keeps you going. What about times when you don't feel like creating, or times when you feel like, you know, kind of burned out or whatever? How do you deal with those situations?
So I had a little bit of that, like, a few weeks ago, I think. And it lasted for a really long time. And the way I deal with that is I don't kind of want to push myself to make music when I don't feel like it, because then it's not fun anymore. Then it's like work, kind of. And then you don't, like, the creativity doesn't flow like it usually does if you're not motivated anyways.
Right.
So I don't want to work if I'm not motivated. So I usually just go back to what I did in the old days, just play video games and have fun with friends. I don't know.
Yeah. Reset the mind.
Yeah. That's exactly what I do.
Dude,
and
that's
then,
rad. I love that.
And then whenever something goes by or I hear something new and I feel inspired by that, that's when I get back into the production mind, kind of.
Yeah.
And then I can keep then I can keep going.
Oh, that's crazy, dude. That's so cool. No, I love it. I absolutely agree. I mean, I think for a lot of us as musicians, music becomes our life. You know, it's all we think about. It's all we do all the time. And so when we do get into those ruts, we get so desperate. It's like, I'm stuck now. I'm stuck forever. I'm dead. There's no more music. You know, it's so important.
I just leave it.
Step back. Yeah, exactly. Just step back, take your hands off, and be like, okay, I'm just gonna chill and kind of reset. And video games are awesome. Like you said, there's so much like creativity and stuff in video games to trigger a new idea. So that's fabulous. I love that. In the same vein, though, like this year, 2020, like there's been like a lot of like unrest, you know, politically, socially, and all this different stuff. You know, would you say that has affected you like this year in 2020 specifically?
No, I don't think so, really.
How interesting.
I've just been doing my own thing, really.
Yeah.
But I mean, it kind of has had some sort of effect. The whole pandemic thing,
Right.
Because everyone was at home and other artists are beginning to make more music because they're at home.
Right.
And then that kind of reaches out to me, and I get inspired by that, and then I continue to make new stuff. So that kind of goes like, you know.
Becomes like an ecosystem. No, it's true.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, but because of the pandemic, like you said, like it's been a benefit for a lot of creators because, you know, we've been forced to
that's really true.
sit down with our computers and focus on our craft, focus on our art and stuff like that. So yeah, it hasn't been all bad as far as the pandemic is concerned. Are you the kind of person that sets goals and stuff at the start of the year? Did you have a lot of like ambitions in January of like stuff you wanted to do in the year?
Ooh, I don't remember. I remember that I thought like, okay, 2020, I will do something good. I will do something great.
Something good, and then I can stop.
Yeah, I'll do something, something new or something. But I don't remember if I was already doing it back then, but I was starting sometime to develop some sort of merch.
Okay.
So I was designing some sort of stuff.
Sure.
And then I set my goal to release it by summer. Still haven't done it, but I
clock is ticking.
I have the shirt, but I just need to clean up the design because there's some weird errors.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I got to do that, and then I can release that.
All right, fantastic. Well, so it sounds like you're taking action then on the one goal you did set, which was do something new, merchandise, which is fantastic, obviously.
Yeah. It's a pretty fun concept, I think.
It is fun.
I've never designed clothes before.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of fun though, isn't it? Like I've been working on my own fashion line as well just now, and so it's really cool to like, you know, like get a paper, like draw designs and like, you know, kind of decide on how I want it to look. So actually talk to us if it's okay with you. Like, how did you approach designing your merchandise?
I looked around on a lot of merch that I already have and merch from other artists.
Right.
And I took some real inspiration from this merch brand called Childish, which is from another YouTube channel. And they have like, their brand Childish, and I took some heavy inspiration from that and some other merchandise things, and I just threw everything together, and it turned out great.
That's awesome, man.
So
references are so
I'm happy
important.
with it.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like references are so important, you know, especially if you're doing something new that you haven't done before. Having some guidance or some structure, you know, to walk around, it's so beneficial, so helpful for us to get started.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's really cool. So I'm looking forward to see the merch when it drops. Good luck wrapping it up. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, thanks.
Is there any other projects that you're working on right now, maybe musically or other than that?
I'm kind of thinking of putting together another EP.
Fantastic.
I got 2 tracks laying around, ready. Other one I just finished up 2 days ago or something. And I got, I think, 1 or 2 more. I'm not sure.
Super cool, man. So you got some.
And that'll turn
around.
into some.
Yeah.
That'll turn into some sort of Asian trappy. Heavy.
These are kind of the themes and everything. All right, fantastic.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm curious about that. Do you have a process for how you put together an EP? Or do you kind of like approach it by, okay, I want to tell this story, or I want to have these aesthetics? Or is it just like, oh, I have 3 songs, make an EP? Like, how do you approach like making an album or making an EP?
Yeah, I know Savant is really specific on his like themes for his albums.
Right.
He was talking about this. He always has like a red string going through all of his songs through an album, so they all have something in common. But I think, when making EPs, trying to think here. Most of the time, I think I just use some of the same elements, kind of. If one of the tracks has a cool theme, I'll start to mix the elements so it kind of has a similar sound.
Gotcha.
So you can kind of tell it's in the same sort of family, or I guess, when you're listening to the whole thing.
That's awesome. Very cool. Yeah, it usually, I find for myself, I'm not sure if maybe you're the same way, that like if I'm making a song, like I'll generally have like, 3 to 5 different whips, that are all in the same kind of mood, but like a little bit different tempo, different instruments, and so like you said, it's great to just pull them together and like put out an EP for the fans, because it's great to put out new music, obviously. Is it hard for you to balance your time?
Ooh, I've thought about that. It's kind of, it's really hard to balance
there's
my time.
Different elements, because you could talk about balancing your artistic energy, balancing like your social energy, as far as social media, but like in general, is it hard for you to balance time, and how do you go about it?
Yeah, so when I'm finished with school right now.
Okay, congratulations.
But when I was in, thanks. when I was in school, I was not doing too great because I had such a hard time balancing everything. From first of all, music, which I love doing, and then homework, which I hated, of course. You gotta do it.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's mandatory.
And of course, just general stuff at school, because we all were using our laptops at school, and like, most of the boys in the entire class were in their DAWs making music instead of paying attention.
Wait a minute. There was multiple music producers in your class?
Yeah, so
dude, this sounds like that anime, My Hero Academia, like a school of music producers, though.
Yeah, so I was making music. I was studying art, and then we kind of combined our classes in some subjects. with another like class.
Okay.
That was studying something else. And they all had laptops, and we had laptops, and I would sit in the back of the class, and they would also all be sitting there doing music. So that's it's pretty fun.
That's really
Yeah.
cool because like the whole atmosphere, the whole environment was like music geared, you know, so you guys could talk to each other about ideas or how
that's really interesting because we would like show each other completely different things because we're all making different stuff. Like
different inspiration.
One guy was making like trance and heavy metal.
Oh wow!
And another dude was making like just lo-fi hip hop stuff, and another dude was making like more poppy but like house big room stuff, and I'm there like heavy dubstep,
exactly,
sort of things. So it's really fun.
I gotta say, I'm kind of jealous of you, to be honest. Like that sounds like so cool. You know what I mean? That
yeah, it was a really fun time. I'm totally gonna miss that.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, there's really like not a place like that you can go in real life. You know, like I almost feel like it'd be cool to have like some kind of environment where a bunch of artists could come together, you know, and just create together, you know. But because
that's kind of why I'm jealous of the whole Disciple label, because when watching out their live streams, you see the top-down view, and they're just like 10 people with all creative minds thinking in different ways, and they can just sit there and discuss and have fun. Yeah,
man, it's so awesome. It is. It's so cool. And I mean, like, we make do with what we can with like Discord or other online platforms, but you know, being able to be together with someone in close proximity is something totally different about that. Yeah, so, like you said, though, it's really hard to choose like what to focus on. There's so many distractions and responsibilities. How do you prioritize stuff? Especially now, you've got the clothesline, you've got the music you're working on. I don't even know what else you probably have behind the scenes, but how do you prioritize what to work on? Do you use schedules, to-do list, or how do you go about that?
I don't really like when it comes to music. I just think that I get it done when I get it done. And like last year I got a girlfriend, and that's been quite the task. But I mean, she's I mean, like not that way, dude, bro, calm down. No, not that way. It's kind of this is bad. Why did I say that? Why did I say that?
This is bad. I gotta cut
I'm
that
so
out
sorry.
in the final part. No, but like, honestly though, I understand what you mean. Like being able to having to make time for other people can be very difficult.
Because I don't wanna ignore her.
Yeah.
So I kind of sometimes hang out and make music because she's really supportive of the music I make.
Sure.
And she's also really cool. That's I'm really happy about that. So I think but I think the hardest task is just balancing her and gaming with the boys. That's the hardest part.
That's like everyone's problem in 2020.
The music thing you can do wherever, and whenever, kind of. So because I'm working on, I bought myself a MacBook in February last year, so I've been working on that only.
How interesting. Okay, just
so I can work wherever and whenever. So. Yeah.
How intriguing. That's very interesting. If it's okay with you, I'd like to ask you a question real quick. I didn't think we'd bring this up, but being in a relationship, I'm curious, is your girlfriend creative as well? Does she make art or music or anything like that? Or is she like a non-creative?
Dude, she's the most talented. Like, she can draw the most photoreal pictures you can imagine.
Dude, that's amazing.
There's like at her house or like in her room, it's not done yet, but you can see there's like a huge piece of paper with a picture of Doctor Strange. Basically,
oh my gosh.
She drew like every single hair of his beard and stuff like that. It's so detailed, and it looks 100% photoreal.
That's epic. That's so cool.
It's completely insane.
The time and dedication
I certainly never could reach that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm just curious
Yeah.
about it because I've been thinking a lot about like relationships, especially if it's possible for a creative person to be in a relationship with like a non-creative person. But I feel like it'd be so much easier if you're in a relationship with like a creative individual because you guys can kind of like bounce ideas off of each other, or you kind of understand each other as well. Especially like you said, how it can be hard to balance time or whatever, you know. But if you're both creative, you understand the kind of space you need to be in to be creating and everything. I would assume, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man. Anyway, back to the main train of thought. You talked in whenever we first started the interview, you mentioned about changing your sound, how previously you did a really lot of heavy, kind of dark, aggressive stuff, and now these days you're kind of opening it up and everything. What was the catalyst for change? What inspired you to start making different kind of sounds, and what was the reason for that?
So I got to a point where I was like, okay, I've done everything I can. I don't think I'm gonna get any further doing this. So I gotta switch things up or do something different at least. And then I was making, like in Norway, we have this celebration around Constitution Day or whatever it's called.
Sure.
And it's like it's something called Russ, like RUSS, and just Google it.
Yeah.
And
I'm interested.
And in some like eventually there's like a music production to it, and then we like make our own Norwegian tunes.
Oh, really?
And then I was kind of doing a lot of that, and that kind of influenced me to do more slower stuff, because it's kind of it's slow but aggressive style to that sort of things. So yeah, so that kind of inspired me to switch up the sound a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I was just different tunes with new elements that I haven't really heard a lot of before, so I wanted to bring more of that, and that's kind of the funky thing.
Yeah. How intriguing.
So,
that's really cool. So kind of like
yeah.
traditional Norwegian music kind of inspired the change and everything. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
I've been really inspired by Skrillex to make new stuff, because listening to his things is like nothing else.
Yeah.
Because he comes up with the most original ideas, I think. So I've kind of been inspired by that and bring something fresh to the table, because I don't know, like if I were to describe his music with one word, I think it'd be fresh.
Yeah,
because it's something new, and yeah.
He continually recreates himself. He does. He'll do it routinely. But it's interesting because two of your biggest influences, they both do that. Skrillex and Savant. Savant, you know, like as we both know, like he's notorious for doing different things. You know, from his early things like with EDM, drum and bass, and dubstep. Later he did like that retro wave, like the 1980s inspired horror album. Nowadays he does like orchestral stuff. So yeah, it's interesting because your biggest influences are continually recreating themselves, and it looks like it's something that you're gonna adopt now as well, like doing different sounds and different approaches. Is it easy for you to adapt to change? Is it easy for you to embrace change, or is it a little bit uncomfortable for you?
I think it's a little bit hard to like really change, so like in a way that you can really notice it.
Okay.
But yeah, it just comes down to experimenting enough and trying new things, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Trying new stuff until you like what you hear. And I think also, like, I found that for myself, like, being very conscious about taking effort to change. You know, like, it's so easy to fall into patterns of repetition, to do the same thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Done, you know?
For sure.
And so you really have to take, like, you have to be, okay, I'm not going to do this because I've always done it. I'm going to do this. Even if it sounds bad right now, I'm going to keep working at it till it gets better. So yeah, conscious effort, and like you said, also like not being afraid to experiment and try new stuff. Very, very important. What other changes are you looking to add to your artistry? Obviously, the music is one thing. You're working on the fashion line. Is there any other things that you want to do or achieve, like with your artistry next?
So I've kind of been working on the kind of aesthetic of my Crow brand, sort of. So before I was more I've been inspired kind of by some people around, and I got some cool PNG assets and stuff.
All right.
To play around with, and one of my recent songs, the Sequels Suck song, I was really happy with the cover because it was a combination of many different places that I took inspiration from, and it turned out really great. So I've kind of been into this kind of dirty, scratched up, torn paper, taped together kind of aesthetic look.
Yeah, very gritty.
So yeah, I've been quite inspired to change, just banners and stuff like that.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, branding is something that every artist has to get into eventually, you know, whether it's sooner or later. And I mean, you already do a great job with your branding, to be honest, man. Like your album art and everything, it always looks fantastic. But it'll be cool to see what you come up with next. I'd love to see, you know, new approaches to branding and how people market themselves. It's so much fun. There's so much like creativity that can be expressed there, you know? Like there's artists that like to recreate their branding with every single comeback that they do. You know, Skrillex obviously is one. He was famous for his hair in the early days, you know. Nowadays he does other, you know, kind of aesthetics. I think Tyler the Creator is another one. Obviously not EDM, but you know, he'll always do a different kind of visual for every new album he puts out. So there's so much creativity we can tap into there. I can't wait to see what happens for you next with that. Looking back at what you have achieved already, what would you say are the most special or the most meaningful achievements you've achieved so far?
So I think it has to be the most recent one.
Yeah.
Getting onto Disciple Roundtable, because I think that's
congratulations on that, man. That's like massive.
Yeah,
that's
thanks
huge,
a lot. Yeah,
man.
it's got to be the biggest achievement I've reached yet in my career.
Give us some backstory on it, man, if you don't mind. Like, how did it happen?
Oh,
how
yeah,
did you
sure.
feel? You know, talk about it.
So, so me and Niptane, known each other for maybe, I don't even know, like 2 or 3, no, probably two years maybe.
2 years, okay.
And like way back, I asked him to collab. And then he said like, yeah, I'd totally be down, but I got a lot of stuff right now, so I can't. And then he told me last year, like, next year I'll be available so we can throw something together. And it was for, he asked if I'd be down to release with this label that I don't think I can name.
Okay.
Just to be safe.
Yeah, sure.
But it was a huge label, so I was like, yeah, let's go. Pretty excited.
Of course. How would I say no to that?
Yeah. And then, we started working, and working in stems obviously is pretty challenging because he's working in FL Studio, and I switched to Ableton like 3 years ago. Okay. And then he's close friends with Vishal.
Okay.
From Vandals that runs Roundtable.
Yep.
And he showed it to him, and he was like, "Yo, give us that on the next Reinforcement album." And he told that to me, and I freaked out.
How did
I totally freaked out.
Did he like message you or did he call you?
Yeah, Niptane. Yeah, he just sent me a message on Discord like, yo, I showed this to Vishal from Vandals, and he wants it for Disciple Roundtable. And I was like, yo! And then, and that turned into the release.
Oh, man. Dude.
After a lot of waiting and patience.
That's why you need to have like a video crew around you at all times. I would love to see the reaction from that. You start doing backflips or something. That's super awesome, man. Super awesome.
Yeah.
Has it made a big impact on your career since it's been released? It got released in July, if I'm not mistaken. Like, have you noticed like a difference in how people perceive you, how people treat you now?
I mean, I've gotten a lot of good feedback.
Good.
Which is pretty inspiring.
Of
and
course.
What was I going to say? fuck. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, good feedback. That's the important thing, though. It definitely
Yeah.
puts you on, on a good platform for more people to discover you, and it's a great achievement to have on your name. But it's just
Yeah.
one step towards the ultimate goal, I would imagine. So
Yeah, and since the release, I think I more than doubled my monthly listeners on Spotify.
fantastic, man. That's so good to hear.
So that's pretty insane.
It's insane, but it's so good to hear, and you absolutely deserve it. You put so much time into your productions, and you've worked so hard, so consistently over a long amount of time to get to where you are
thanks
now,
a
man.
lot.
So you totally deserve it. Do you consider yourself a patient person? Because you've been doing music, for a long time. You've really built an incredible platform for yourself, and obviously with Roundtable, it's exploding even more. But do you think of yourself as a patient person? Have you been patient, in the journey it takes to get to where you are now, or are you more of like, I can't wait?
Compared to some of the people that have gotten into my DMs over the years, I think I'm pretty I'm a pretty patient guy, because some people are like complaining that they're doing this and this and this and they're not getting anything from it. And they just gotta understand that it's everything is a little bit of skill and the rest is just a game of luck. So yeah, I've kind of been as patient as I could,
As you can.
especially with the YouTube thing, because that's more than anything else just a game of luck to strike like a popular video or something. So yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, patience is so important. It's really undervalued. A lot of people don't understand how patience works, But it just takes so much time. You really got to stay dedicated to your craft and just keep doing what you do. Really, it's just that, like, it's not time yet. Like, maybe you're not ready emotionally. Maybe you're not ready mentally yet. Maybe you're not ready creatively. We've really got to stay dedicated to our craft and keep doing what we do before we really explode. It comes when it needs to come. But it's fantastic but good for you though for being patient, and getting to where you are now. It's super inspiring to see people who do put the time in and then later, get to achieve great levels of success. So you're a success story already. Do you feel successful, or do you feel like you still have a long way to go?
I feel obviously everyone started at 0.
Yeah.
And I feel like at the point where I'm at now, I feel pretty successful.
Of course.
Because I never thought I'd get this far.
Yep.
So that's why I feel successful.
Yep.
And I know there's a long way to go to where I could be, but I never thought I'd reach this stage. So
That you're already out.
I feel pretty successful, and I'm really happy with where I am right now.
Rightfully so. Do you have like some sort of like idea or ideal of where you want to be in the future? Do you think about that kind of stuff, or are you more of just like take it a day at a time?
It's really scary to think about.
Yeah.
Because I don't wanna set expectations.
Of course.
And then one day thinking about that, and then I'm just let down because I never reached that level.
Right, man.
So I think I'm just I'll just do it day by day, kind of.
It's probably better that way. It's so hard, the balance between expectations and visualization. Whereas visualization is great to give you direction, but expectations always let you down. So it's so hard to, to walk the line between that. Living a day at a time is a great way to go about it. Are there any lessons you've learned from your time in the music industry? Anything that you would like to share with other people who are just getting started, or even if they're already established? What's some lessons you've learned from being in the game?
It's when you start out, the most important thing you can do when you're starting out music production is to in some way, either in real life or on the internet, surround yourself by either other beginners or other artists to help you out and guide you in the right direction. Because I had no idea what to do, where to go, or when to do anything. So yeah, I kind of spent a year maybe doing nothing, but at the same time I was trying my best. So
Yep. Man, preach. That's facts, dude. Like a common theme in today's episode that you've talked about so much is influences and inspirations and having them around you. It is so important, and no one understands that most of what we create or most of what we think is not from us. It's from the people who are talking to us or the people that we're listening to. And so it's so important to have the right voices around you that are giving you guidance, giving you inspiration, giving you encouragement, to keep doing what you do. I want to go a little bit deeper. You said, to surround yourself with other creators. What's a practical way people could do that? What would you tell people on how to find those creators?
I mean, the way I found a lot of creators, like eventually, because I didn't have a lot of people. It was only me and Initian.
Yep.
At first, but then everyone everyone I know right now is from Discord and Discord servers, because you just get to know a lot of people through Discord and servers like that, because you can discuss and get help and all that stuff.
Precisely.
But finding those servers, I'm trying to think how you can find those. Maybe like a Reddit or
Reddit.
YouTube channels or something, because there's a bunch of YouTube channels with smaller artists.
Definitely. There's even sometimes you could even just go to like a more established musician and like go to their Discord and then talk to other people who are active on it. And that's another great way to do it.
Of course.
But no, you're absolutely right. Like Discord, like any creator listening to this right now, whether you're an artist, a fashion designer, a musician, an architect, whatever you do, Discord is the place to be for creators right now. There's not a lot
anything.
Yeah, exactly. There's not a lot of consumers like on Discord, so it's not like a marketing app like Instagram or Twitter can be. But Discord is a great place to talk about art and to talk about other creators to get better ideas and to refine your sound. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that. Discord is the place to be for creatives right now. Anyway, Crow, please leave a message to the you of 1 year in the future. What would you say to the yourself of 1 year in the future? Leave a message.
Oh,
this is the big one. Take a minute.
Okay.
Take a minute to think about it if you need.
Yeah. I think I'd say I hope you found out what to do with your life after 1 year off from school. And I hope you have a driver's license. And I hope you're doing good with your music.
And you certainly will be, man. You certainly will be. That's an awesome message to leave yourself. I absolutely love it. All right, man. This has been incredible. I love the conversation we're having so far. We're kind of moving into the end. I want to pull up some questions from the audience. I did ask on Instagram people to leave some questions. I've got one question here from a buddy of mine named Inflake. Inflake asked you, if you could rewind time, what would be the one thing you would change about yourself?
Oh my god.
That's a deep question.
Yeah, what?
That's a deep question. It's like,
rewind time and
question
change
yourself.
something about myself.
Yeah, if you could rewind time, so it could be any age whatsoever, but what would you change about yourself the past year?
Stop. I would stop trying to act cool around girls that I would never achieve.
I think a lot of people need to take that advice right now. So that's a good one. Oh, fantastic, man. Thank you so much for being on the show today. Let's go to the speed round if it's cool with you. The last round.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to ask a quick question. You give a quick response.
Okay.
Let's get into it. 3,
right, let's go.
2, 1. Favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite food?
Stick meat, Norwegian plate.
Favorite day of the week?
Friday.
Favorite movie?
Batman: The Dark Knight Rises.
Favorite song?
No, wait.
Oh.
Just The Dark Knight.
Very good, Dark Knight. Favorite song at the moment?
Ego Death by Skrillex and Ty Dolla$.
What's your guilty pleasure?
ASMR.
What country do you want to visit?
Fuck.
Every country?
Australia.
Australia, that's a good one. What languages do you speak?
Norwegian and English.
Name one person alive or dead that you want to have a conversation with.
Either Skrillex, Michael Jackson, or I was thinking about this earlier. I can't.
Those are both
Can't
great
remember.
choices, though.
Damn it.
All right, Skrillex or Michael Jackson. And the last one.
Yes.
How do you want people? To
maybe Savant or something.
maybe Savant. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
How do
like,
you want?
just like creative people?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Anyone who's a
Yeah.
creative. And last one.
Yeah.
How do you want people to think of you?
Chill dude that makes music on his spare time and skateboards.
All right, all right. And that's it for the speed round question. Oh man, Adrian Crow, my man, thank you so much for jumping on today. That was remarkable.
Thanks for having me,
dude. Thank you for reaching out, and initiating this. This was so cool. I loved everything you talked about, your inspirations, your path, your journey. I'm super stoked for what happens next. Is there anything you want to say to the audience that you haven't said already?
Stay focused.
Yep.
Or maybe not.
Try to.
And don't get let down too fast. And yeah.
Listen to the guy. Listen to the guy. Stay focused. Don't get let down. Just keep moving forward. It's all about momentum.
Yes,
It's about
that's
constant
it.
effort. Take a page from
Yep.
Crow, guys. He has been putting in the work, making his music, making the stuff he wants to make, reinventing himself. He has the right influences. This dude is bound for glory. So please follow his page, subscribe to him, watch him blow up, as I will be doing as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you on the next episode. Take care.